So I started my college education in general studies at FAMU and hoped to get into the School of Business at Florida State for my junior and senior year. I took some business classes at FAMU that I truly enjoyed, especially Introduction to Marketing. Loved that class. Then I took Principles of Economics 1. I got an A. It was cool. I wanted to get my feet wet with some electives. Then I took Principles of Economics 2 honors. Why? I wish death. With my tongue, I'm speaking. I wish death on Principles of Econ 2 honors. Who signed me up for this? Who did this to me? Me. I did this to me. I ended up withdrawing from that class and took it again. Not honors, just regular, I believe, at Broward Community College, now Broward College. I passed, but I believe I got a concussion in the process. So I can't remember. So, now, since I did not have a mentor or patience or the desire to be challenged, I let my experience with that one class create a ton of doubt about whether or not business was for me. I still plan on going that route, but that doubt got bigger each day. And I started taking this math class at FSU to get a feel for the campus. I hadn't transferred yet, but I figured I'm going to anyway, I might as well. And I hated it. I hated it, everything. Maybe I just didn't hate it, I don't know, it felt wrong. Maybe I was scared, maybe it was the fact that it was a math class that took place in the morning, two things that I don't like combining forces to do me in, similar to my parents getting together during that whole kitchen table fiasco from high school from the last video. Now, one thing that I do remember was I ran into this old gentleman making his way to class, and he was blind. And I saw him a few times, and every time I saw him, I'd offer him a hand, walking him to class, and he appreciated that, and that stuck with me. So I hope you're doing well, sir. So my plan to leave FAMU to study business turned into I don't want to study business, and I want to stay at FAM. So I went window shopping to other departments of the university, and I spoke to a bunch of people. And anyone who told me that their curriculum was math heavy was met with like holy water, get out of here. Let me stop tripping. You're doing too much, sir. I don't care who you are. That's good entertainment right there. I don't care who you are. That's good entertainment right there. That's good production quality. All right, So I remember walking into the School of Engineering, which is awesome. The FAMU FSU School of Engineering. FAMU had the talent, FSU had the money, and they were like, hey, we should collaborate. And I was greeted by a man who asked me if I was ready to join the real world. He's like, you ready to join the real world, son? In my brain, I'm thinking real world, math. I'm like, no, thank you. Thank you, but no thank you. And I ran out of there quicker than lonely people run to social media to try to show the world how not lonely they are. Then I went to the School of Journalism, and I was like, yo, is there any math here? And they were like, I was like, yeah. All right, cool. I learned about journalism, specifically broadcast journalism. So now here's the truth about broadcast. My bad, I'm over here spitting. Here's the truth about broadcast journalism. This is the throwback of this. You're gonna lug around video equipment in a suitcase the size of a small refrigerator. The camera, somehow bigger than the suitcase. Your camera uses tape, as in videotape, and possibly scotch tape to hold it together. Shoot fly. We were in HBCU, we didn't have a lot of money. Lots of shooting, shoot everything, write, rewrite, meet the editing bay. This is not Final Cut or DaVinci or Adobe. It's not even iMovie. You will sleep in the editing bay. You will question your life in the editing bay. Now, my truth for broadcast journalism, the Final Fantasy edition is screw math. I'm gonna be on MTV. I was gonna be the guy that's like, yo, what's up, it's your boy. We got the top 10 videos popping on right now. Stay tuned while making all these unnecessary hand gestures toward the camera. Career option number 2 for me was I was gonna be the guy on BET who says, what's up, it's your boy. We got the top 10 videos popping on right now. Stay tuned while making unnecessary hand gestures to the camera. And my first taste, this is a remote control. My first taste of broadcast journalism included a teacher I swear solely existed to show me that I did not belong here. He was cool, he just didn't play any games, which I respected. Then I remember having to do what's called a package, which is a news story. I had to do one about a town hall meeting, which is boring by default. And I had to do another one on birds that kept dying because they kept flying into like cell phone towers or something like that. Now look, I love birds, but at some point they have to realize that they can't fly through stuff, okay? okay? If you want to hear about how the birds flying into stuff and dying came back into my life decades later in LA, and also like video production that I hated, how that all that came back, check out this video. Anyway, I'm gonna be on MTV, it's your boy, remember? So my packages were awful, the audio was off, the editing was awfuler, and it still haunts me to this day. This wasn't even the worst part. My professor told me that I needed a haircut and that my shirt was wrinkled and clashed with the color of my skin. So I'm like, wait, what? You telling me I'm raggedy and the wrong color? Like, got it. And I thought it was kind of racist, but he was and still is black, so I let it slide. He didn't have to go for the shirt though, man. Like, I ironed it at the house, you know? So I'm window shopping again, but this time I stayed within journalism and I learned about public relations. And the conversation was like, I'm currently in broadcast, but I'm thinking of switching. Can you tell me about public relations? And they were like, it's more money and less work. And I was like, well, yeah, let's do that. We're gonna get along just fine. By the way, how do you feel about this shirt? And they were like, it's fine. I'm like, damn right it is. I like PR and I stuck with it and I graduated with honors. I have a bachelor's in journalism with a focus on public relations, and I had great professors, and one in particular who was like a mother figure / mentor. She always kept it real, and I appreciated that. And in hindsight, I wish I had utilized her more wisely and more often. And one day, I told her I was interested in possibly starting a magazine, but I couldn't because I was broke. I couldn't afford to print. And she recommended doing it online, creating an online magazine. And I looked at her like she had 6 eyeballs. I was like, what do you mean, an online magazine? Mind you, I'm dating myself. YouTube did not exist yet, okay? But a couple of years later, I actually would start a magazine, print, and a little bit online, but mostly print. And to make a long story short, it was fun while it lasted. Cool experience. If you want to learn more about how I created that magazine, just how that process went, not just the process, but just like it was a whirlwind of stuff. I'll make a video. Dr. Kimbrough, I love you. I miss you. Thank you for everything. I hope you're doing well. I wish I could see your vision back in the day. Sorry. So the plan was to go to FAMU for 2 years, go to FSU, get a bachelor's in business. Then I decided to stay at FAMU to study broadcast, only to end up getting a bachelor's in public relations because I was raggedy. I had poor taste in shirts and was the wrong color and hated everything about video production. No FSU, no business. I was done. I was happy with my choice. No more school. I'm out of here. In conclusion, choosing the right school and the right major can be tricky, scary, exciting, all of that, all at the same time. And there's so much to choose from that it can be overwhelming. So get an early start. Learn about yourself. Don't wait until the last minute. If you get into the schools that you want, great. If you don't get in, it's okay. Don't destroy yourself over it. You'll be fine. If you change majors, that's fine. If you change majors twice, you're not gonna die. If you're on your 11th major, you may wanna get that checked out. No judgment here, just saying. Because you think you know what you want until you don't, and you trip yourself up. I wanted to go to a major school with a big football team and study business. Then I had the opportunity to do so, and I did neither. And I don't regret my decision to go to FAM one bit. I loved it. I learned so much about it. I learned so much about myself. I made friends and professional connections that I'll keep forever. Remember like a few seconds ago I told you that I was done with school and business and I hated video production and birds flying into stuff and dying and all that? Check out this video of how I was wrong about all of that stuff. Like, not even close. What was your college journey like? Are you in the process now? How's it going? You have any questions or advice? Let us know in the comments below. I'm Aurelio, part-time adult. Thanks for watching.